Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of New Bern, North Carolina. I'm Mike Core, and I'm pleased to be your service leader this morning. We hope that you will find comfort and solace in being part of this worship service, coming live from my home, as well as the homes of Reverend Charlie Davis and today's pianist, Judy Harrison. I'd like to thank Mike Sagasser, Stephanie Jones, and Sam Love for all of their behind-the-scenes work for this service. We appreciate you, our viewer, and your efforts to tune into this service. You are welcome here. Whoever you are, whoever you love, wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Let us begin our service today by enjoying our morning prelude, My Mother's Garden by Kay Gardner. Thank you, Judy. That was beautiful. We love coming to the UU on Sunday mornings. We greet our friends and gather in anticipation of the service. For the past month, today, and for some time into the future, until the shelter-in-place order is lifted, we have and will gather virtually. Although we cannot physically be together, we can do some things communally, such as each of us lighting a candle, as a symbol of our gathering together. Please light your candle as I light mine. In the words of Selena Fox, we kindle this flame with love for mothers, past, present, and future. We kindle this flame in celebration of community and its generation. We kindle this flame with respect and support for the greater circle of life for which we are all part. Now, Christina Martian has been hosting a series of story times for the children of our congregation. I think it might be a good idea for us to listen in to one of her recent stories.
Good morning, you kids. Welcome to Swing Time again. Today I'm going to read a very odd story called A Tree Full of Pigs. Arnold Lobel is the author, and his wife Anita Lobel is the illustrator. One day a farmer and his wife went to market. They saw some pigs that were for sale. "Such good round pigs," said the farmer. "We must buy them." "What a lot of work it'll be to raise these pigs," said the farmer's wife. "It will not be hard. We will do it together," said the farmer. The farmer and his wife brought the pigs and brought them home to their farm. The next day, the farmer's wife came to the farmer and said, "My dear, you must help me plant the corn so our pigs will have something to eat." Now, the farmer was a very lazy man. He liked to spend most of his time laying in bed, asleep with his head on the pillow. The farmer said, "If you will plant the corn today, I'll help you another day." "But when?" asked the farmer's wife. "On the day that pigs bloom in the garden like flowers. On that day, I will help you plant the corn." In the morning, when the farmer woke up, he looked out of the window. He saw that pigs were blooming in the garden like flowers. But he put his head back down on the pillow and went to sleep. "What a lazy husband I have," said the farmer's wife, and she planted the corn herself. Soon after, the farmer's wife came to the farmer and said, "My dear, you must help me dig a hole and fill it with mud so that our pigs will have a cool place to sit." The farmer said, "If you dig the hole today, I will help you another time." "But when?" said the farmer's wife. "On the day that pigs grow in the trees like apples," said the farmer. "On that day, I will help you dig a hole." In the morning, when the farmer woke up, he looked out the window. He saw that pigs were growing in the trees like apples. But he put his head back down on the pillow and went to sleep. He seems to be missing all these miracles around him. "What a lazy, lazy husband I have," said the farmer's wife. And she dug the hole and filled it with mud. By and by, the farmer's wife came to the farmer and said, "My dear, you must help me carry buckets from the well so our pigs will have fresh water." The farmer said, "If you carry the buckets today, I will help you another time." "But when?" said the farmer's wife. "On the day that pigs fall out of the sky like rain. On that day, I will help you carry buckets of water," said the farmer. In the morning, when the farmer woke up, he looked out of the window. He saw that pigs were falling out of the sky like rain. But he put his head back down on the pillow and went to sleep again. "What a lazy, lazy, lazy husband I have," said the farmer's wife. And she carried the buckets of water from the well herself. When the corn was ripe, the farmer's wife came to the farmer and said, "My dear, you must help me harvest the corn so our pigs will have a fine dinner." But the farmer yawned and said, "I wish the day would come when those pigs would disappear like the snow in the spring. On that day, I will really rest well." In the morning, when the farmer woke up, he looked out of the window. He did not see the pigs anywhere. They were not blooming in the garden like flowers. They were not growing in the trees like apples. They were not falling out of the sky like rain. They had disappeared like the snow in the spring. "What have I done?" cried the farmer. "What has happened to our wonderful pigs?" The farmer called his wife to his bedside. "My dear," said the farmer, "you must help me look for our lost pigs." The farmer's wife said, "If you will look for them today, I will help you another time." "But when?" asked the farmer. "On the day that you jump out of bed, put on your clothes and promise never to be lazy again," said the farmer's wife. "On that day, I will help you look for our lost pigs." The farmer quickly jumped out of bed. He put on his shirt and pants and his boots. He fell on his knees and cried, "I will never, never be lazy again." "Good enough," said the farmer's wife. The farmer's wife ran outside and opened the cellar door. All of the pigs came bouncing out into the sunshine. The farmer helped his wife harvest the corn. He helped her cook the meal. Then the farmer, the farmer's wife, and the pigs sat down to a delicious dinner of corn pudding and hot muffins. I like this happy picture. On that day, the farmer promised always to keep his promise, and from that day on, he did. So, obviously you're not going to go around hiding pigs. I mean, we're in North Carolina, but most people have chickens these days. But living in these weird zombie apocalypse times, it's a huge adjustment with isolation and people wearing masks everywhere you look. Everything's being shut down and some people don't have a reason to go out of the house anymore. It's hard for some of us not to get lazy. But I don't want the COVID-19 virus to make us lazy like the husband in this strange story. Some people need to make a schedule, figure out stuff that needs to be done around the house or in the yard. If you're still working or going to school, try to have a dedicated space maybe, because when you sit on the couch and start working or sit on the bed, sometimes taking a nap or slipping into TV mode is just too easy. And maybe make sure you talk to 2 people a day. You can make phone calls or send emails. You can go on walks. I mean, we're spending more time at home, right? But we don't live on Mars. You're not that isolated if you just make the effort. Sometimes the kids and I like to go over to the neighbor's house and we ring the doorbell and we'll back up like 10 feet and we'll see how they're doing. I'll bring them something that we've cooked. It's nice. It puts a smile on everyone's face. So I hope you enjoyed this swing time story of When Pigs Fly. And I'm going to include a poem down below from Shel Silverstein, kind of on the same topic, from Everything on It. He's a great author too. And now it's time to go off and do something today that your future self or your partner will thank you for. So you guys enjoy your week.
Thank you to Christina. That was excellent. And it gives you a good taste of what the children have in store every weekend. Now I'd like to move to sharing joys and sorrows. For this morning's joys and sorrows, I share the following. As a joy, I want to extend our heartfelt thanks to all mothers. Your leadership, kindness, and love are appreciated now more than ever. For a sorrow, our hearts go out to all those families that have experienced loss and pain due to the coronavirus. And I think we also need to be reminded that COVID-related issues are on top of the normal trials that are always with us. While life goes on with its usual sources of joy, the everyday tragedies still hit us as well. So just keep that in mind. As a joy, I have heard from more than a few congregation members that the current state of affairs has created time for much more self-reflection and a renewed sense of responsibility for our community members. And lastly, a moment of silence for all those joys and sorrows in our hearts and souls. As today is Mother's Day, I thought I would share these words from Reverend Emily Wright Magoon. She writes, Mother's Day is about love, but it's not about commercial, comfortable love that snuggles up and stays home. It's about love that throws open the door and marches out of our homes, beyond our fences and neighborhoods, and into the hurting world. To feed the hungry, shelter the homeless, comfort the hurting, and mother the motherless. Mother's Day love is dangerous, revolutionary love that unites our one human family and reminds us that we belong to each other and that there really is no such thing as other people's children. I found that to be an interesting thing to think about. Now, while we may not be in our beloved sanctuary to pass the basket, we still need to pay the mortgage and leave the lights on. I'd like to remind you to please mail in your pledges and financial gifts to the UUFNB at 308 Meadow Street here in New Bern. Your contributions are greatly appreciated, and we will endeavor to use them with utmost care. And thank you so much. Now, this morning's speaker is Reverend Charlie Davis. Now, Charlie's across town from me, but coming to your screen next. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning. Good to hear you. Good to see you. Happy Mother's Day to you all. I don't know if you can see behind you. Oh, my mic is still, oh, my mic is good. Happy Mother's Day to you all. I don't know if you can see behind me, there's a picture of Gail's mother and my mother over my shoulder. And I know all of us, whether our mothers are present with us in this world or not, they are always kind of looking over our shoulders. Today, the ideals of motherhood are celebrated. Yet, not every mother is ideal. Our mothers are all human. What would it be like if mothers were divine? Many cultures around the world have looked to goddesses as archetypes of motherhood. Even the Judeo-Christian tradition, which emphasizes the fatherhood of God, contains elements of the divine mother. The first chapter of Genesis, God is plural. The Hebrew word Elohim literally means the powers, and it contains both sexes. Elohim said, "Let us create humanity in our own image." So Elohim created humanity, male and female created they them. And Jesus, in the Gospel of Luke, spoke of God as a mother hen gathering a brood of chicks. And in the Roman Catholic tradition, Mary is venerated as the Mother of God, even declared to be Queen of Heaven. She was always quiet, pure, and helpful. In Greek mythology, there is Gaia, Mother Earth. She emerged out of the chaos and gave birth to Zeus and protected him from his jealous father. She is the image of nurture and protection. These are two major functions of motherhood. However, she is also the goddess of death, for in the end, all living things return to her. The cycle of death and rebirth is played out more fully by her daughter Demeter and granddaughter Persephone. Persephone was captured by Hades and dragged into the underworld. And each spring, Demeter brings Persephone from the land of the dead, and life is brought to the surface of the world, only to die in winter when Persephone returns to Hades. In Japan, the Shinto goddess is the creator, but is also associated with the land of the dead. She died while giving birth to the god of fire. Her husband tried to rescue her from the land of the dead, but was so frightened by her decaying body that he sealed her in the underworld. And afterwards, he felt so frazzled, he washed himself frantically in a river. And as he washed his left eye, the sun goddess came into being. And then soon there was a war in heaven, and the sun goddess hid herself in the cave. The darkness frightened all the other deities. They stopped fighting to convince her to come reappear. And that is why Japan is known as the land of the rising sun. The sun goddess, Amaterasu, is said to be the mother of the first emperor. Now, the Hindu tradition is more complex. The Hindu deity takes on three distinct forms: Brahma, the creator, and his wife Saraswati; Vishnu, the sustainer, and his wife Lakshmi; and Shiva, the destroyer, and his wife Parvati. The Hindus seem to realize that all the roles that are expected of one human mother need to be shared by multiple goddesses because the job is just too big. And those multiple goddesses often have multiple arms to help them get the task done. Saraswati is the goddess of music and learning. This is the mother that is automatically expected to homeschool during the COVID-19 crisis. Lakshmi is the benevolent mother. She is the goddess of good fortune, She is also the fertility goddess. She is the one that makes things all better. But mothers have lives of their own that aren't just about having children. And the mother as independent woman is represented by Parvati. Her husband is Shiva the Destroyer. They are a passionate couple. He's often absent, destroying evil all around the world. And she is the erotic temptress who got left home with the kids. Once Shiva was gone for a long time, and she wanted to take a bath, and she had her son Ganesha watch the door to stop intruders. Well, Shiva came home, and he'd been gone so long that he didn't recognize his son, and his son didn't recognize his father. And he said, "You can't go in the house." And Shiva, being a destroyer god, chopped off his head. Parvati heard this disturbance and ran out and told Shiva to fix things. Now, being a destroyer god, he's not the best at fixing things. He cut off the head of an elephant and put it on top of the child. And that's how we got the god Ganesh. But in his defense, he was in a panic because he knew he had a big mistake and his wife was angry. And when Parvati gets mad, she transforms into Durga, the warrior goddess. And when Durga becomes madder, she becomes Kali, out of control rage that rides the tiger, destroying all things in her path. To translate these Hindu myths into the language of the American South, when mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. One time, Kali's rage was out of control. After killing a great demon, she couldn't stop killing. Even good things were being destroyed. With her 10 arms, each wielding a weapon, Shiva was unable to stop her by force. So he lay down in her path. When she stepped on her beloved, she came to her senses. Thus Shiva became the first husband to control his wife by letting her walk all over him. I tell you these stories to illustrate that there are too many expectations of mothers. Not even goddesses are capable of containing them all. A human mother is expected to be a sensual partner, a giver of life, provider of nurture, protector, teacher, bringer of light, sacrificing her own life, exercising righteous rage while remaining quiet and pure. We must remember that our mothers are human. They cannot be expected to live up to all the demands. As children, we must be ready to forgive them. As partners, we must be ready to share the load. As parents of adult children, we must give them the freedom to make their own mistakes and come up with their own solutions. After all, our adult children are just trying to undo all the mistakes that we made with them as they raise their children. Let us take this day to remember all mothers with forgiveness and gratitude. Forgiving her for what she is not. Gratitude for what she is. The source of our life. The mysterious vessel of our emerging selves. A person pulled in many directions, sometimes pushing us out of the nest, sometimes welcoming us home when we are wounded. A mom's thumbprint may be our Achilles heel, but that comes from a mother who is willing to face the river of death to protect us. Look at your mother today. Love her for who she is or what she was. And if the role of motherhood has come to you, embrace the awesome responsibility that it is. Forgive yourself for not being able to do it all. Even the goddesses need help. Ask and allow others to help you. Praise yourself for continuing the chain of life. Realize the divine nature of being a mother. I now encourage all of you to prepare to sing our hymn, Spirit of Life.
We are learning to live our principles in new and different ways. Coffee Klatch is now available virtually via Zoom on Mondays. You should have received an email from Stephanie Jones with a Zoom invitation. And Stephanie assures me that she's willing to help you get up and running with Zoom if you'd like. Remember to check your voicemail. People from the UU are making calls to check in with folks, as we want to make sure that all of our friends are doing well. And if you're at all interested in helping make those calls, please reach out to Tom Shoup. Our children are meeting via Zoom on Sunday mornings, and if you have kids or grandkids that would like to join in on their service, please contact Andrea Herman. As you have already seen this morning, we offer Swing Time, a story time with Christina Martian, available on our Facebook page. Do you need pastoral care? Reverend Charlie is available to speak with you. Please reach out and let him know that you would appreciate a call. And for those interested, you are welcome to join in our after-service fellowship hour. You bring the coffee, remember. You should have already received instructions as to how to Zoom in. Together, we lit this candle to join our hearts and souls in a time of solemn reflection. As we extinguish the candle, let us stay strong, connected, and caring until we meet again. And to close, utilizing the words of John Shar, the future is not some place we are going, but one we are creating. The paths are not found, but made. And the activity of making them changes both the maker and the destination. Shalom. Salam. Ashe. Namaste. Peace. Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Masisi, amen, sayaka dumisa. Masisi, amen, sayaka dumisa. Masisi, amen, bawa. Amen, bawa. Amen, sayaka dumisa. Masisi, amen, sayaka dumisa. Masisi, amen, sayaka dumisa. Masisi, amen, bawa. Amen, bawa. Amen, sayaka dumisa. Masisi.